5 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 4 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. If you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 4 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 3 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Mark 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. If you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 336-464-1806. Mark 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, we're coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, mark. 1 minute stations, 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Coming up on 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds, stations. Have fun.
following is a Learfield presentation of the Rice Sports Network. On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, live from Acme Oyster House. Welcome to the Mike Bloomgren Show. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood. The Mike Bloomgren Show is brought to you by The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716. Lighting up Rice University and Houston for over 100 years. Now, alongside Coach Bloomgren, here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes, yes, yes. We are back here. Another season of the Mike Bloomgren Shows here at Acme Oyster House. They have it all here. A second straight season here of the Bloom Shows. It went so well last year. They're so accommodating here, so we will be back. You can catch us a number of ways. We are on the Varsity Network app, the Rice Owls Game Day app, and riceowls.com. And look at us continuing to set trends technologically. You can watch us on the YouTube, on the Facebook, and X, which used to be Twitter. So we are everywhere, and we have a really great crowd. Lots of blue, lots of gray. This is your spot, not only for the best seafood in the Tri-County, Tri-State area with that good Louisiana flair, but they got a great bar in the back just as you come in. You can't miss it. This is your spot. We want you at the Rice games, but if for some reason you can't make the trek, to South Florida, we go to Charlotte later, this is your spot because they've got the big screen and lots of good stuff around the wall. Thanks to the Rice jerseys there on the wall as well. This is a happening spot. And suddenly everybody's all quiet looking at it, which isn't too bad because they're paying attention here. But we'll get on to the show that's at hand. We'll wrap up that game, Texas defeating Rice this past Saturday. Dunleavy family head football coach Mike Bloomgren will join us coming up here in just a moment. And how about that defense in that game? Give it up for that defense. And some of those defenders will be featured in this one. What are the odds, said, my favorite assistant coach is on show one. Right? Where is he at? Yeah, he's hiding. He's a shy guy. I told him we're going to have to get him to open up a little bit coming up here. I say that with tongue firmly planted in cheek. And two of his star pupils, they had good games this past Saturday out in Austin. My guy, DeBraylon Carroll, and Josh Piercy, who's no doubt tired of me in all the interviews we have done here the last few months. But we'll talk some D-line and then have Coach Calhoun coming up and talk about his really interesting backstory and also look forward to that team across town. We got the Bayou Bucket presented by HEB. That's coming up Saturday. That'll be at historic Rice Stadium, 6 o'clock. We'll be on air with the Houston Methodist Hospital pregame show at 5:30. Walter, Nate, Jason, me, and others will have the broadcast as well coming up. You can sync us up. Long story short, those previous avenues that I mentioned, you can watch and or listen in the booth, but you can also sync us up, syncmygame.com. NFL Network has that broadcast of the Bayou Bucket, and Coach and I will preview them on the tail end of the show, talk about Dana Holgerson's team 1-0 after they had a wild close call 17-14 win against UTSA over across town at TDECU. But Cougars and the Owls doesn't get much better coming up on Saturday. But enough of me yapping. Let's get to the boss man coming up here next here at Acme Oyster House. We'll talk some Rice Owls football coming up next with Dunleavy family head football coach Mike Bloomgren. This is the Mike Bloomgren Show live from Acme Oyster House on Learfield.
Football fans are passionate, just like John Deere fans. And if you're a John Deere person, the name to know is Shoppers. In football, it's about calling the right plays. The right call for John Deere equipment is Shoppers. Shoppers has a right-sized John Deere tractor with attachments for any job. You can build your tractor online with Shoppers' exclusive Build It, Price It, Own It tool. See all our John Deere specials by Googling Shoppers at SHOPPAS. It's time for you to make the right call. Shoppers, equipment for your piece of Texas, and proud sponsor of Rice Owl Athletics.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar, the talking spokes oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen us on TV. My friend Oscar is, sleeping. You know, we oysters like our beds. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear. Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show, live at Acme Oyster House. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes, yes, yes. You know it here back at Acme Oyster House. It is a great, great spot. And all the excitement and all the glee of getting our first show on air. I forgot to tell you that. Our great read here. Here's to Red Beans and Rice University. Acme Oyster House, proud sponsor here of Rice football. After the game, you can come join them over here. Fried seafood platter, shrimp po' boy, a dozen char-grilled oysters. Acme, the best little oyster house in Texas, and home of the Mike Bloomgren Show here every Monday during the season, 7 to 8. We're at 1201 Westheimer. Forgetting this street right here, but it's right corner of essentially Montrose and Westheimer. But you Houstonians know that. And we have Dunleavy family of football coach Mike Bloomgren. Boss, how are things?
Really good, man. Really good.
Good.
Yeah.
I guess the menu's coming up for you, or what's on the Bloomgren menu tonight? What are we grubbing with?
Oh, man, I went big. So I got the char-grilled oysters, and I got the, I don't want to say the name wrong, but the Boom Boom shrimp, I think.
Yeah.
And those are both go-to favorites here.
Yeah, got the Boom Boom tacos. You cannot go wrong here. So obviously a lot to get to in the first show. We'll talk some about the offseason and some about different roster additions and new staff, of course. We got the D-line featured coming up here, but just obviously the topic of the week, wrapping up the game against Texas. A strong start and a good defensive effort. Texas pulls away 37-10. What are your overall thoughts now that you've had a couple days to marinate on that?
Yeah, I think my thoughts are that, I'm disappointed for the kids that we didn't get it done. We put a lot into it. I think we prepared the right way. And at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure we gave them our best shot for 60 minutes, and I'm not sure we did that. I think it's an outstanding football team on the other sideline. I think they're going to win a lot of games this year. So I don't want to discredit anything they did. I just wanted it always to be about us, and I wanted to give them our best effort. And you started the game off from a defensive standpoint with that fourth down stop. You end up putting points on the board right away. And then you hold them to 3 field goals in the red zone there, and our defense really stood up. And so it's still at halftime, you're like it's 16-3, and we haven't played really well. We got a chance to get this kickoff and get right back in it. And we had a bad third quarter as a football team, and that's disappointing. Those are the things we've got to find a way to get past. The silver lining is that in the fourth quarter we stood up and we played like us. We got stops on defense, and we were able to put one in the box. A little too late, obviously, but at the same point, I'm just proud of our guys to continue to fight and to keep that thing turning back against a really good football team. And it wasn't against the Texas JVs. I mean, their starting defensive line was in the game. And speaking of that group, that's as good of a defensive line group as we've played since we've been here. Those guys are really, really good. But you mentioned the positives of the defense. I think one thing we got to make sure we say, too, is we played a lot of Power 5 teams around here. And I don't think we've ever come out of a game where it was a special teams win for us, where we actually won the field position battle and gave ourselves a real advantage there in the game. And there's a lot of people that play into that. There's a lot of people on special teams that did a great job, but the two that kick and punt the ball, and Tim Horn and Connor did an outstanding job.
Speaking of the defensive side, I was looking at some notes here. Sean Fresh joined Nate and I after the game. He set a career high with 8 tackles, and one thing he said was, I said, hey, what was the key coming into here with the great defensive effort? He said, we were not intimidated against them. So speak kind of team-wise, what went into that, and Sean's effort too. You don't want a corner making 8 tackles every week, but a lot of guys stepped up in that career games on that defense.
Yeah, I think it's got to start with the defensive line. And, you mentioned, like, hey, look, our offensive line, they had some rough meetings today, and we had to watch that film, and we had to grow from that film. But their defensive line at Texas had to grow from this film too, because our defensive line played in their backfield all game long. And once again, they returned all 5 starting offensive linemen. They're a veteran group, and for our defensive line to impose their will the way that they did, I thought was a really good sign for us. And anytime you have the rush and coverage working together, anytime you have success on the back end in the throw game, it's because those guys are working together. And we got a lot of pressure. Piercy got a hit on the first series, then, just hit after hit after hit. And that's the kind of things that win games. And I don't think Quinn Ewers ever sat back there and was very comfortable. And so that's a testament to our defense. And then you talk about Sean's individual performance. They took 3 shots and didn't complete any of them. So we talk about playing top-down football and giving ourselves a chance, and that was a big deal in this game.
How about all the DBs? One that made, not that it matters, it does to some, but made the rounds on social media. Lamont Narcisse, a good stick, but it seems that the secondary, they gave up the one big play. I guess that was Mitchell coming out of one of those turnovers, but largely, you talked about the line, but were you happy as could be with the secondary?
Yeah, you know what? I think those guys and the backers played good. I mean, everybody's working together to make that defense go. The defensive line is just the part where you look at it and you're like, my goodness, like that's a really good front, and we're really having our way with them at times and stop the run for the most part. You look at the final stats and you're like, oh, they rushed for 150 yards, but they averaged under 4 yards a carry. And we can talk about those great runners being gone, but that's the number one running back recruit in the nation that was playing back there for them. With a quarterback that gained a lot of yards with his legs himself, So there was some really good run game effort. And then you talk about their receivers and how explosive those guys are. Guys like Xavier Worthy that have had 150, 200-yard games, and we held them to 90-something yards, and 45 of it was after the catch. So we're not giving up those shots. We're giving ourselves a chance to be in football games if we play with that kind of effort, especially against that explosive offense.
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show here at Acme Oyster House each and every Monday. On the offensive side, now that you also have had a couple days looking back, what is the big improvement you'd like to see after a game like that where you said it and had Servant on after the broadcast? He'd be, hey, we've got to protect better. So I know it does start out front, but what are some of the things that go into that to try to make that game 2 improvement? Like you said, that's when your biggest improvement usually comes.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? The game 1 to game 2 jump has to be the biggest improvement of the year. Every great team I've ever been a part of, that's been the case. So when you look at it, what do we got to do from our protection standpoint? Well, we've got to make sure that we're doing a great job with our hands. We've got to make sure we're doing a great job from an assignment standpoint. We really were. There's 2 things that again, I think you have to give credit to those guys in those orange jerseys as much as we may not want to. Number 1, they got an NFL defensive line. Like every scout that comes through is talking about how those guys are going to go, especially number 93, could be a top 10, top 5 pick. So that's a challenge for anybody when you're playing against a guy that's that talented, that weighs close to 400 pounds and runs like he does. I mean, that's not a normal human. So that's part of it. But there's also times that they brought more people than we could protect. If we're in a 5-man protection, they bring 6. There's going to be a free runner. We've got to make sure we're solidifying the 5 that we're in charge of so the quarterback can push the ball off number 6 and get it out of his hand on time.
That dovetails perfectly. A fan reached out. He wanted to ask a question, and paraphrasing them. Texas had a lot of blitzes and referenced the Cougar game last year. They did too, and that turned some of that tie. What's the best way to improve that blitz protection?
Yeah, I think making sure that we're assignment sound, but also when we put our hands on somebody as an offensive lineman, we have to understand if you break it, you bought it. You touch that guy, you own him, and the back's got to play off of him. JT was hit too many times, to say the least, the other night, and the pressure was real. And the pressure wasn't just when they blitzed, just like the Cougar game last year. Unfortunately, there's times where we're blocking with 5 and they're rushing 4. And if they beat one matchup, if they win their matchup, they're going to get home. And you can't let that happen. It's no different than watching Josh Piercy when we're only bringing 3 and he gets home to the quarterback. You think it should never happen. But the reality is, it's a player one-on-one. And if we win that matchup, Josh Piercy gets a hit on their quarterback.
Mm-hmm. look at the on the offensive side of things with JT Daniels, it's tough to evaluate. You mentioned that taking some of those hits, but first game, much ballyhooed, obviously. The storyline that we talked about in other settings coming in. How do you evaluate that, and what do you expect from him this year?
Yeah, I just think with the pressure that was on him, it's really hard to evaluate him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the body of work, and I'm going to see how productive he has been all camp. We talk about turnovers, and anytime you have a turnover from the quarterback position on an interception, there is a lot of things that can play into it. Somebody running their route too much across the field, the pressure, whatever. But as the quarterback, you hold that ball and you have the final chance to say, no, I'm not going to throw it, and make sure that I'm not going to put a ball in jeopardy to the other team. And so that's something that JT's taken a lot of ownership of, and he's going to do a better job protecting the ball. We're going to do a better job protecting him. And what I hope you see is just like when we scrimmaged the first time this fall camp, the offense kind of got overwhelmed, had trouble moving the ball. And then you go back to the second scrimmage and kind of how the last week of camp went. We had a lot of success against, somebody asked me on the field today, against a normal defense. I'm not sure our defense is a normal defense. So if we're having success against them, that bodes well for the Rice Owls as we look to put all three phases together.
All right, a few off-season questions. A lot of changes to the staff at some key spots. Go over those and what you liked about each of those guys.
Yeah, I think one thing to talk about is John Kay, like bringing in a high school football coach that was 56-4 in his last 5 years coaching at North Shore High School, and the success that he's had. It's just ridiculous. And watching him go and become the head coach of his linebacker room and how those guys react and respond to him has just been a lot of fun for me. And he's a master coach, and it's showing. The guys are absolutely in love with him. Then you've got Jeremy Modkins coaching the corners, spent his life at TCU, or a big chunk of it. He played under Gary Patterson, went and played in the NFL, came back and coached under Gary. And then when that staff got let go a couple years ago, he spent last year with the Minnesota Vikings. So although myself and Coach Smith, there's a lot of us, Coach Calhoun, a lot of us have been in NFL camps and coached in the NFL. But Jeremy Modkins did it last year, and he's really on top of all the trends, and that's been really good for us as we talk about this NFL curriculum. I think he's presented some really good ideas. Pete Alomar coming in to run our special teams has been exceptional. I think he's the best special teams coach I've ever worked with at any place at any time, whether you're talking about the NFL or any place. And I think you saw some of those results yesterday. I thought our special teams was a real advantage, and when you hire a guy with 40-plus years experience coaching, that's what you get. So that's been great. And then John Settle coming in to coach our running backs. People may remember John when he was a player at App State and played for the Falcons, played for the Redskins. He's coached in the NFL multiple times. He was at Wisconsin with those unbelievable backs they had 6-7 years ago, including Jonathan Taylor. And he just comes in with a wealth of experience, and he's just a great coach. And then you've got Lucas Reed, who has come up through our system, right? Yeah. Like as a GA, a volunteer to a GA to a quality control coach with our quarterbacks to now coach in the tight end room. And his guys are just playing so hard for him, and they love him. They know how much he cares about them and knows that he has the knowledge to help them in the pass game, and he's developed that knowledge in the run game. So that's been a lot of fun. And then one guy that's not probably listed in our 10 coaches is Derek Mason, the former head coach at Vanderbilt, who was our defensive coordinator at Stanford. Just having him come in and consult and spend all spring with us and spend training camp with us has been outstanding for our defensive staff, but it's been outstanding for me. He comes in and he challenges about everything in the building, and that's a great way to assess what you're doing and what you truly believe in. So it's been a lot of good with having Derek in the building.
All right, last question before we get on to our player segments. So these days, recruiting calendars 24/7. I didn't want to talk about that, but you get like 10 minutes of downtime in the offseason. Any cool trips or just kind of vegging out, or is it still go? It's still nonstop no matter what?
Well, we steal as much time for our staff as we can. I think there's a couple things that are important. Number one, I think our coaches need to recharge. I also think our players need a break. They need their focus to be with Hans Straub during the summer and the conditioning program. They need a little time away from their coaches. So the month of July, I try to get the coaches out of there some. For me personally, like we have a place in Florida that we absolutely love in the Panhandle. And that's when I can kind of relax, is when I get there. And with the way the schedule is and Texas High School Coaches Association having their 16,000 person meeting here in Houston, we're going to bring the staff back for that. And then you got media days. And so it's segmented, but every chance I get to be at that beach is with the fam is really what I want to be doing.
But this year, it didn't happen like years past where you text Sid and he doesn't come the next day or a few hours later. I remember that happened, you and Mason.
Yep. That
did happen. Okay.
It did happen.
All right, we'll have to hear that.
But no, it did not happen this year. But yes, it has happened multiple times in the past years where we say, Coach Calhoun, come to the beach. And he gets on a plane. He comes there from San Diego or wherever he is at the moment. But I don't think he made it down. If he did, he didn't call me, which I need to know if he came. Okay, he says he didn't come.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later on previewing that team across town coming up.
Yes, sir. Yes, we will.
Yes, indeed. Dunleavy family head football coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. Stay tuned. Coming up in just a bit, we have our first of our player segments. Josh Piercy joining us here at the high table here. Acme Oyster House. The Mike Bloomgren Show continues in a moment here from Learfield.
Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment. 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling, the official beer partner of Rice Athletics, and now available for purchase everywhere in Texas. The Yingling Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Please enjoy responsibly.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting blitzed. Down he goes.
The speed.
The 40, there he goes. Down the sideline.
Western College football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon with the ponies in the barn. Back to the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Whether running a marathon or walking your dog, every movement matters. But when you're in pain, simple activities can feel unbearable. At Houston Methodist Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, our specialists can help you heal faster using the latest technology, minimally invasive procedures, and advanced physical therapy. As the top-ranked hospital in Texas, we have the expertise to keep you moving and help you get back to doing the things you love. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Rice teams and traditions are legendary. Our team as strategic wealth designers are proud to be a partner of Rice Athletics. What an honor to be working together. When you're ready to discuss your financial future, call the team the Owls Trust. We look forward to creating your winning strategy for retirement. Visit us at swdgroup.com today. And go Owls.
You're listening to the latest on Owls football with the head coach, Mike Bloomgren. Now, let's go back inside Acme Oyster House.
It is a great place to be here at Acme. They've got college football on here this Monday night. Coming up next week, they will have, I forget who's on Monday Night Football next week, but great TV, great grub. They got drinks, just great company. And here on Monday nights, talking some Owls football. Owls a defensive tackle to Braylon Carroll coming up next segment. And then we have Cedric Calhoun. But right now, number 12 on the Rice Owls roster, a redshirt junior from Morristown, New Jersey, Josh Piercy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I can't complain one bit. Yeah, there you go. All the claps for JP. JP?
Yeah.
Are they calling it? Okay.
JP, Piercy.
See, we got two. I just clicked me. I didn't go to Rice, but this magic is free up here. So discuss that game, and then we'll talk some about the offseason. You heard Coach mention in that segment how proud he was of the defense and specifically your unit. What went into that performance?
Really just the prep behind it. Like that being said, I was really proud of the way all the guys came out there, like top down, everybody just being able to show up, punching them out early. We knew that was something that we had to do early on, hit them early. So like the fact we were able to do that and maintain it for as much as we could, I was very proud about that. And it really comes down to our prep and our confidence, knowing that like having that confidence that whoever we line up against, like they have to play against us, and just having that mentality week in and week out.
And nothing's a given, and you'd be proud of that performance against any team, but having the number 1 preseason, I guess, Big 12 pick and number 11 team in the nation, doing it against them, do you think more of it, or do you still like, hey, let's just worry about the next one, or do you pay much attention to that?
Really worrying about the next game. Obviously, yeah, it's cool to do that against a great team like that, but not right now. We're just moving on to the next one because, like, you're only as good as your last game. And, like, we didn't play a perfect game. Like, no one plays a perfect game. So, like, heading into that, really just focusing on the prep for the next week is where we're at right now. But still, like, proud of the guys and the way they showed up.
You got a lot of the same guys coming back, but still a mix of some new guys coming in. Discuss the unit and what you saw in some improvements and some of the fresh faces and numbers folks might not know.
Well, yeah, that's the great thing about it because, like, yeah, we do have a lot of, like, familiar faces, but, like, this is really the first time that me and DB have really been able to, like, play together, just, like, with playing time and just injuries and everything. And then, like, new faces like Coleman Coco, he was gelled in, like, very well. It feels like he's been with us all 4 years. It feels like he's very stepped in as a great leader for us. Even new faces like El Royo, guys like Michael Larby, guys like Chibi, Damone, all guys that are, like, being able to step up and be just having that 2 deep mentality. Like, when the 2s come in, it's just another group of 1s. Like, there's no drop off.
I should remember this offhand from asking you in years past, but were you always defensive end, I guess that outside linebacker rush at different levels, or did you, like, when you're growing up in Jersey, did you play all over the field, both sides of the ball?
I was all over the field. So I went to a small high school.
That's
so I was
right.
playing, like, running back, wildcat quarterback, tight end, receiver, safety, linebacker, little end. Like, I had to play everywhere. Punt returner, kick returner. Like, I had to do all of it, yeah.
So, Captain Obvious question. Let's see, Coach is kind of listening here. Do you have one of those others was a favorite position, or did you just kind of take to see ball, get ball on defense, specifically what you do so well? I'm not taking away from that, but, like, what was your favorite?
Honestly, like, growing up, I always dreamed of playing running back. Like, you asked me when I was a younger kid, I'll be playing, like, I was on line for DN in college, I think you're crazy. But, like, yeah, like, growing up as a kid, running back was always my dream. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. He probably got too big, ended up on the defensive side of the ball and fell in love with it.
Still that quick first step, though.
Yeah. All the footwork's all the same.
It's kind of like how what I've heard, like, country stars, music stars want to be actors want to be musicians. Is it that way for defenders? Like, they want to be on the offensive side of ball, or maybe go out, catch a pass, like have the big boy touchdown dance, all that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends who you add. Like, yeah, it's cool scoring touchdowns, but I don't know, getting a sack or interception, there's no better feeling than that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's still pretty cool to score and everything, but yeah, no, nothing like getting that sack, you know.
Talking to Josh Piercy here, the Mike Bloomgren Show here at Acme Oyster House. Coming in here, again, not your first rodeo. What this season, what's it meant to you? That, I mean, you know the colleges, you know, I don't know if you're graduated already.
Yeah, I did graduate.
So, yeah, you're in your at Rice University, you're working on that secondary degree. So what's it like being Josh Piercy, big man on campus now?
I mean, I don't even look at it that way, but I guess what people try to say. But honestly, it's a blessing being able to, like, play with such a great team, such a great staff, like, amazing teammates, and just really having that feeling to be able to finish where we started. Like, when we came in here, it was definitely a different program, definitely a different atmosphere. Like, being a part of something so great, being a part of being able to build something that's going to last long way out there than when I'm gone. So, like, just being able to be, like, a small part of that is a huge blessing. I'm going to change it for the world.
What was your major?
Sport management.
Okay, and what are you studying now?
I'm going to start the MBA program in October.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any kind of specific part of that, or just?
No, I'm really just doing that, working on finances, focusing on that. But then, you know, like, whatever happens with ball after that is going to that. But, yeah, right now, just starting the MBA program in October.
And obviously, hopefully, you'll have a long career after whenever your time here is done. But what would you like to do? Obviously, in sports, it sounds like, with that major, anything you'd like to do?
You talking about like career-wise, like outside of sports?
Yeah,
I mean,
when
like
the playing days are done.
Yeah, like so the main reason why I went to Rice really was to become like a GM someday, front office guy, some director, player, personnel, like being in a city like Houston with like so many professional teams all around, just so many amazing connections through Rice. I just knew Rice was the perfect spot to like get me in those doors one day, becoming like working in the front office for a team one day.
Nice. So I know I asked you this last year, but you being a Jersey guy and being down here in Texas now, your fourth year, start kind of saying y'all, kind of go rodeo a little bit? You got your cowboy hat or anything like that?
Nothing like that.
Anything like you go back home, they say, man, you're different. You've been down in Texas too long. Nothing like that yet?
I mean, there's something like that, yeah. When I go back home, it is a little different. Everyone talks a little different than I do now. But, like, my mom's from the South, too, so it's not anything too foreign. But, Houston and Texas itself has become a second home for real. Like, the people here are great, food great, environment great, weather. I mean, the weather's a little shaky sometimes.
Yeah, we agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I've loved my experience at Houston, and it was a great place, just school-wise and just everything around it.
Awesome. Good getting to know you. I'm sure this won't be the last of us talking, but let's hope your Eagles lose every game. I say affectionately. And, I'll leave it like that on a good positive note. You're always supposed to leave your guests in a positive note. So I hope your NFL team loses every game. How about thanks, Josh.
All right, appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
JP here. He's the athletic one. Stay tuned. Coming up in a bit, we slide down the defensive line. Thank you, sir. We have DB, DeBraylon Carroll, joining us next here at the high table here at Acme Oyster House. Mike Bloomgren Show here from Learfield.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Shoppers has the right John Deere for your piece of Texas. If you're looking for a tractor, gator, or lawnmower, let the experts at Shoppers give you the right answers to your John Deere questions. Shoppers makes buying a piece of John Deere equipment easy with our online Build It, Price It, Own It tool. You can add attachments specific to your needs or check out our ready-to-go John Deere tractor packages. See all that Shoppers has to offer by Googling Shoppers at SHOPPAS. Shoppers, equipment for your piece of Texas, and proud sponsors of Rice Owl Athletics.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics.
Highlighting the Owls on the gridiron. Welcome back to the Mike Bloomgren Show.
Yes, you know it. Welcome back here. The Mike Bloomgren Show here at Acme Oyster House. Coming up in just a bit, we have defensive line coach Ced Calhoun, and then Coach Bloomgren and I will talk about those Cougars coming up as well. Joined now by number 55 on your Rice Owls roster, 6 foot, 290, redshirt junior from Duncanville, state champ, defending state champs, right?
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Samples, right? We haven't talked. We're always usually talking that DISD ball, but thanks for joining us, DB. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Cannot complain one bit. Always love seeing that nice smile from you. Kind of like we led off with Josh, discuss on the interior side of things how you think you guys did this past Saturday.
Honestly, I feel like we did pretty well. We knew we had to come out there and be physical and just come out and hit him in the mouth. And kind of like Josh said, just they got to play us, not we got to play them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we pretty talented group. You know, we led by a great coach. You know, he prepared us well, got us in shape, make sure our mental was right. So I feel like we came out pretty pretty good. They definitely felt us for sure.
And how's it been for you coming into this season after, you always hear, after the injury you had a little bit over a year ago, it takes a full year to recover. How are you feeling right now? It seems like, watching you, it seems like you're okay, but I want you to answer. How do you feel?
I'm great. Money, I don't feel it at all. Honestly, I feel like it's a blessing that it did happen. So I'm good now. Everything's good. I can't complain. I'm ready.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Was there a tough part of that rehab and even going through some stuff last year? What was the toughest part?
Probably the initial not being able to walk. I couldn't walk for 2 months. So I was non-weight bearing for 2 months. Just because I'm a bigger guy, they want to make sure the tendon healed properly. So just that part, and then just the first month of recovery being on crutches. The rehab was really, really slow in the beginning, and just ankle pumps for like 3 weeks. That was it. So just getting through that part, and then once you start picking up, I was able to get going. But just getting back to not being back where you were, but being better than you were before was a tough part. But I feel like I'm definitely better than I was. So,
yeah, year 4 here at Rice, right? So go through that line. Coming in, you were much ballyhooed coming out of high school, and you've obviously made your impact here on campus when you've been out there. What's that progression been like? And take us through that process of getting older, battling the injury, and coming to where you are now here.
So freshman year, as we know, I came in, I feel like I did pretty well. Came in and I started on a couple packages, and I was definitely in a rotation. Ended the season, freshman All-American. Then sophomore season, did pretty well again, even though it was COVID. I only played 5 games. And then I believe I was all-conference honorable mention after 5 games. I feel like I did pretty well that season as well. And then my junior year, obviously I missed out with 2021 season with my Achilles tear. And then last season, I played, and then the second game, which is really unfortunate, I suffered a high ankle sprain. They kind of derailed my season a little bit because it's on the same ankle as my Achilles, so that kind of hurt me. But now I'm ready. So just with the maturing part, just growing up and just seeing how the program has changed and grown for the better since I've been here, and just making sure we're leaving a positive impact, and I feel like we're doing that.
So this might be a loaded question. Who's the guy? Because I think in any level of football, the D-line's always the toughest. And I say this to Sed's face, the craziest guys, right? But y'all have that balance here. Y'all still have your off-the-field side, too. So who's the guy on the D-line you don't want to mess with? Is that you, JP?
As in what, like on the field or off the field?
Both.
On the field, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm a problem, you know?
Okay.
And then off the field, I'd probably say probably a newcomer, probably Coco.
Okay.
Coleman Coco. He's a crazy guy. In a good way, though. In a good way.
Got to watch out for him.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you studying?
So now I'm about to start in my MBA.
Wow.
I graduated 2023 this past spring. So
you did that fast. Not that that's unheard of, but that went by fast, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I got my degree in sport management, minored in business, and now I'm getting my MBA. So that's a blessing.
So kind of the same question as Josh. Anything you, after the football days are over, down the line, what do you want to get into?
Honestly, a lot of my coaches and just players on the team say I should probably get into coaching, just because I try to help everybody out. You know, and I'm a film junkie, so I watch a lot of film, know a lot of football. So they were telling me to get into that, but honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards director of player personnel for like an NFL team. So, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then later on, probably becoming a GM.
Yeah, just not the Eagles, right?
Yeah, never.
Yeah,
well,
that's good.
They pay. Nah, just playing.
No, that's when you do. They're paying. You do take that gig.
Yeah.
What surprised you most about your time at Rice? Like, what's been something that you maybe didn't think about coming in that growing up now? I mean, you're a young man now.
Yeah.
When you came in,
I was young, man. I say the brotherhood with the team and just how close I am with my coaches. Coach Calhoun's like another father figure, you know, just how he gets us prepared, not for the game, but for life. And I've known just with him, I've grown as a man, just being in his room. And then just like the guys I came with, Josh, Isaiah, and then some of the other guys that was in our class, like Myron, those guys, just how we grown together and like established relationships for life, not just in football, but just creating those bonds for life. So I appreciate that. And honestly, me first coming, I didn't know what to expect. You know, just coming to college, I knew it was going to be definitely challenging in the classroom, but just seeing how fun it is to play here and, you know, with this fan base we do have and just the small community, like I love it because everybody know you. So I feel like it's pretty personable, which I love.
And this will be your third game against the Cougars coming up Saturday?
Nah, this won't be my second game.
Yeah, so you missed that other
year. So I played
so.
last year, then I'm going to play this year.
So I am dubbing you, for now, the spokesman of the team. What's it mean playing those Cougars now, getting revved up? Even though Dallas area guy, Northeast guy, y'all know how big this one is. What's it like getting revved up, big rivalry game like this?
It's huge. This week, you know, we're going to prepare like we prepare for Texas, like we prepare for every game. Basically going out there, giving our best, like Coach Bloom said, playing 60 minutes of our best brand of football, and that's what they're going to get this weekend. So it's going to mean a lot, us bringing that trophy home, and we're just going to continue to prepare how we've been preparing, and we'll be ready.
I like it.
Yes,
I like that confidence. Thank you. Well, unlike Josh, I hope your team wins every game, NFL and at Rice. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, DB. Braylon Carroll joining us, great guy. Should have had more time to talk some Duncanville Panthers football, too. Next time we will, though, DB, next time. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have the one and only Ced Calhoun, D-line coach, joining us here, the high table here. We're at Acme Oyster House. Still time left in the show. Stay with us. It's a Mike Bloomgren show from Learfield.
Hey, Oscar, wake up. Hi, this is Otis and Oscar, the talking spokes oysters for Acme Oyster House. You've probably seen us on TV. My friend Oscar is, sleeping. You know, we oysters like our pets. Anyway, drop by tonight for a dozen raw, a dozen char grilled, a seafood platter or po' boy, and maybe a few laughs. Come Acme, bro. Not you. Acme Oyster House. Life's more fun with seafood.
At True Anomaly Brewing, our greatest achievement lives in knowing that everything we've learned is yours to enjoy. While it may not be rocket science, we brew with the same detail and dedication learned while running mission operations for NASA. Taking risks is part of our DNA. We don't take them just to say we did, we take them because of the result. Bold brews we're proud to share with fellow adventure seekers. True Anomaly Brewing, beer for the explorers.
The newly renovated Houston Marriott Medical Center Museum District is a proud new sponsor of Rice University Athletics. For visiting families and fans, the closest hotel to Rice University is delighted to offer preferred rates. Guests will enjoy 2 new restaurants, a new exclusive M Club lounge, and complimentary shuttle service within 2 miles of the hotel. Visit Marriott.com to learn more.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting blitzed. Down he goes.
The speed.
40. He goes. Down the sideline.
Western College football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back to the end zone. 30. 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletic season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show, live at Acme Oyster House. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
You know it. We are back here, the Mike Bloomgren Show, every Monday here, the rest of the season here at Acme Oyster House, 7 until 8 p.m. A lot of ways to get us. We're streaming live also on the Rice House social media pages, the Varsity Network app, Rice House Game Day app. The next coach needs no further introduction, but we'll do it anyway. If you're a student of the show and years past, another encore presentation of, now I think I can say, longtime D-line coach, Ced Calhoun. How you living? How are we doing here?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Excited about the season. So it's go time.
Yeah.
It's go time.
And it was go time from the start.
Absolutely.
What did the guys take to so well that you heard from their player perspective the last couple segments, but what did they take to so well and you were most proud of? Obviously a long season ago, but what did you like?
Yeah, their football IQ is like amazing. They don't really know this, but I listen to them and I'm like, I'm listening to them saying, yeah, because when they can talk amongst each other and talk about conceptually like what we are trying to like do, and within the scheme, it's like magic. You know what I'm saying? And those guys are the show. Those guys are like the players. So as long as they're comfortable with the concepts and the technique and the situational football aspect of it and the team mission, we're good. Mm-hmm. We're good.
We know about DB and Josh. They were up here, and we know about some of the other guys. But tell us about the newcomer they both mentioned in their segments, Coleman Coco, transfer from Colgate that I heard a lot of talk in the offseason about.
Yeah, Coleman Coco's been a great addition. I remember when we found him, and I went and saw him up in Syracuse, New York, had 4 hours with him. And at the point in time, he wasn't able to make an official visit, so I had to really just lock in and just be straight up with this guy and be like, look, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, you're a main priority for us. And he was going through some stuff where he was finishing up his academics at Colgate, and he was kind of in like some stressful time, taking care of some family stuff too. And I came back to Houston, I'm like, Coach, he's not coming on an official visit. But I liked him, we had this lunch in this nice little small restaurant up there in upstate, and his like demeanor, questions, because every time I called him, he was studying. He was like, Coach, you got to be here this time because if they get done studying, I have to go work out. So I know he was a guy that was all about his business. And then when he got down here, man, he's been great for the boys. He's an East Coast guy, and man, he's like that. He's like that. And DB, JP, they all tight, man. They're really good. Wait, you guys are going to really enjoy him when you get a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, like DB said, don't mess with him.
Yeah, don't mess with him because he's off the charts. And he means what he says.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You need guys like that, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm like that.
I was going to say, did you have the same demeanor, or what were you like when you were young, playing? Because I would have loved to hear people talk about you back then, or what were you like back then?
I'm all about that action. There's time and place for everything. I'm a very loving guy, but when it comes to business or, this game is special, man. You only got 12 opportunities. These kids work 9 months out of the year. They're going to school, man, and these opportunities are very, very precious. And these kids work hard, and they go to class, and they're out in the communities and they're balancing this. They got a PhD in ball and they got a PhD in rice. So, man, they special and they give it every day. So why not give it back to them and let's go play?
Yeah. We've talked about in years past, but I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it again. Your unique backstory just coming up and said in a minute version leading up to here, because you've had some impressive mentors and people that have helped you along the way.
Yeah, man. I've been when you live, man, and you just listen. I was the only child, so I'm still I was like the young buck that was always listening to the OGs, man, and they used to tell me, say, get out of here. My uncle's in L.A. and my boys in San Diego, go to college, and then I get into the coaching business and I meet. Me and D Mace go back to 1998, and David Shaw and Bloom. I love Bloom, man. We just family, man, and just Wayne Nunley, rest in peace. Jim Johnson, Philadelphia Eagles, rest in peace. I just love ball. I love people that care about the game, the way it should be played, and it's just information. You pass the information. You can tweak this and tweak that, but the DNA of football is football.
Yeah. And a couple years ago, you told me about Wade Phillips, too.
Yeah, I
He's
love
been
him. Yeah, Wade, man. Wade's here in town, and I was going to hit him up. I know we're playing Houston this week, but, Wade's been great. He's back home, and, he's in the XFL and stuff. But, Wayne's taught me a lot, and he's just a good dude.
So you can even trust those Cougars, too.
Sometimes. Yeah, a little bit.
Just not on game.
Yeah, no, this week, hell no. It ain't going down like that. It ain't going down like that.
So they've got, I don't have it printed here. I don't know why I'm looking, but they've got a talented offensive line.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to give away any state secrets, but I know their left tackle, that left tackle, NFL guy, Pro Football Focus ranks him as the third best, I guess, tackle. But speak to their line. What are some keys getting some pressure on that talented line?
Yeah, they're big and athletic, you know. They rely on each other. They work well together, you know. This week, man, you got to contain that quarterback. The kid's 6'5", 241. You know, you got to make sure we're interiorly, you know, with our rush lanes and outside, man. Like, we got to keep that pocket. You know, it's an earmuff concept, and you know those guys work well together. They've had like 150-some snaps as a starting unit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they're talented, and so are we. And we'll be ready. What 2010? Let's go. That's the last time we beat Houston in this Bayou bucket or whatever, man. So you guys enjoy that. We are just going to work.
Got me fired up.
I'm fired up too.
I can't wait.
No doubt.
Thank you much. Appreciate you. Always love what you can offer us, and always
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Guys. Thank you so much.
The one and the only, Ced Calhoun, joining us here at the high table. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll wrap up the show. Coach Bloomgren and I will talk about those Cougars and Coach Holgerson's bunch. Obviously talented. We'll break them down. Coming up next. This is the Mike Bloomgren Show here live at Acme Oyster House from Learfield.
Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment. 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling, the official beer partner of Rice Athletics, and now available for purchase everywhere in Texas. The Yingling Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Please enjoy responsibly.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Rice teams and traditions are legendary. Our team as strategic wealth designers are proud to be a partner of Rice Athletics. What an honor to be working together. When you're ready to discuss your financial future, call the team the Owls trust. We look forward to creating your winning strategy for retirement. Visit us at swdgroup.com today. And go Owls.
At Shoppers, we get all kinds of John Deere tractor questions, like what horsepower tractor do I need? Do I need four-wheel or two-wheel drive? What kind of attachments do I need for my John Deere tractor? The Shoppers tractor experts have the answers to all those questions. Or you can go online and create your own John Deere tractor with our Build It, Price It, Own It tool. It'll give you costs along with finance options. You can see all our specials by Googling Shoppers at SHOPPAS. Shoppers, equipment for your piece of Texas and proud sponsor of Rice Owl Athletics.
You're listening to the latest on Owls football with the head coach, Mike Bloomgren. Now, let's go back inside Acme Oyster House.
Yes. The final segment of the first show here, previewing those Houston Cougars coming up on Saturday night. NFL Network, sync us up, syncmygame.com. 6 o'clock is that start time, 5:30. Our Houston Methodist Hospital pregame. And before we dive into Coach Holgerson's bunch, how about that unique crop? We say this about a lot of the previous segments we've had in the past history, but a unique part of the team and some unique guys and a coach that occupies that team.
Yeah, that's a motley crew you had up here tonight, man. Let me say that, getting those three up here. But talking about their leader, man, Coach Calhoun, this is year 6 of us being together, and we'd known of each other so much before. But I was just dying for you to ask him what he did this summer, because I know, Cedric Calhoun was loose in Paris and with Derek Mason and Leanne Mason, and they
France, not Texas, right?
Correct. Yeah, Paris, France, and just running the streets, watching American football over there. A good friend of ours is the head coach of a team. He used to be the head coach of Parma, the Parma Panthers in Italy, and now he's over the team in Paris. And so they got to see a game and got to see Coach Ced in the Louvre. Man, I'm sorry I didn't get a picture of that for y'all. But Anyway, and then, those other two right there, those other two dudes that came in 2019, and here they are both getting their MBA. I mean, they are absolutely what Rice football is all about. And, we mentioned John Kay earlier when we were talking about him and his success at North Shore. He was recruiting for Rice even before he or I knew he was going to be here. If it weren't for him saying DeBraylon Carroll was the hardest player they blocked all year on their state championship run, I'm not sure we would have been smart enough to go make the decision to bring him here.
Wow.
And so, again, John Kay, big deal there. Josh Piercy has been a blessing for our team. There's no doubt about that. Those two right there, the way that they're attacking everything. And the cool thing is they've had good years in the past, but the start that they've had to this year, they're playing at another level. DeBraylon's pre-injury plus DeBraylon. Josh Piercy's just taking his game to another level. And the thing I guess I would ask everybody is if you see his billboards, there's 3 of his billboards with his picture on it this week, previewing the Bayou Bucket. Let's tweet those things out, man. Let's get Rice on social media going a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it's coming up Saturday night, hosting those Cougars, the Bayou Bucket. Thoughts, they are 1-0 after defeating UTSA in a kind of a knockdown, drag-out, 17-14. Your thoughts on Coach Holgerson's bunch?
Yeah, I think he's got a very talented team that will say that about those guys every year. They're going to have great speed. They're going to have great length. They're going to be very good players. And now they've been recruiting to a team that's in the Big 12. Right? That's the thing we got to make sure we remember. As much of a big jump as it is for us going to the American, as excited as we are, they're super excited about going to the Big 12. And I'm super excited to have this opportunity to host them at our place for that Bayou Bucket.
Smith, the quarterback, Texas Tech transfer. What's stands out about him? Big fella, though.
Yeah, 6'5", 240. I mean, he's like a Dante Culpepper for those football fans of the past. They can think back and remember who that is. It was probably playing quarterback before Josh and DeBraylon were born. But, he's just a big figure in the backfield. He runs the ball incredibly well. And, at Texas Tech, he's had some limited success throwing it. And that's what we've got to do. We got to make that dude as uncomfortable as we can, just like we did Quinn Ewers this past weekend. And then when he does carry the ball, we've got to make him pay for those yards.
And Manjack, he's been great for them. I guess he had the injury last year, but he played early against y'all. That guy, he can fly out there. USC transfer, local kid, but he's a talented wide receiver.
Yeah, teammate of Braden Nutters, Tom Ball Memorial, and a really good receiver we've known about for a long time. The combination of him and Matthew Golden, number 14, they're all doing a great job down the field. But again, we know what our formula is. If we can do a great job playing this thing top down and getting hits on the passer and not giving him time to throw, we're going to be successful. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing this weekend. Playing great special teams, continuing our defensive climb, and getting our offense to play like I know they're capable of.
Doug Belk's defense, generally, pretty aggressive. What do you expect from them?
Yeah, I think Doug Belk's an incredible coordinator. He GA'd under Nick Saban when Kirby Smart was the defensive coordinator. I mean, his pedigree is pretty real, and you see that. You see the excitement in his calls, the different packages Doug presents, the different problems he presents. He does a great job with their personnel, and for them, it's going to start with number 9. Nelson Carter up front. He's kind of their Josh Piercy, if you will. He's the guy that they move around. He's the guy that's going to affect the passing game and the passer every time he can. And we've got to do a great job putting an APB out on him. And then we've got to protect the football. You saw one of the things that turned the game as you watched the game that happened 2 days ago for UTSA is they had 3 interceptions in the third quarter. And it really got the game get away from them. They still had a chance at the end. But one dude picked off 2 balls. Number 15 picked off 2 of them, and he had a big 60-ish yard punt return. So you got some talented guys over there, and they brought in a ton of transfers, and number 15 is one of them. So the bottom line is if we do a good job in all 3 phases and we play Rice Owls football that we're going to play for 60 minutes, we're all going to be really happy with those results Saturday night.
I can't wait.
I can't either, man. Let's go.
Team across town.
Yes, that team across town.
Thank you, Bloom. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
One show down. Got a few more to go. We want you out here each and every week. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Clara back in the studio, Walter, keeping us on here. But thanks to y'all for coming out. Even random people I don't know, thank y'all. We appreciate it.
Yes,
get some waves. Rice out, your honorary Rice House tonight.
Absolutely.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And our friends here, Lisa and company here, serving us as well. Thanks to Ced Calhoun, Mike Bloomgren, obviously, Josh Piercy, and DB DeBraylon Carroll. Have a great rest of this night. God bless. Go Owls. Rice fight. We'll talk to you Saturday night. Rice and U of H. Team across town. Bayou Bucket, presented by HEB. We'll talk to you Saturday night here. This has been the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, you've been listening to the Mike Bloomgren Show, live from Acme Oyster House. Acme Oyster House, the best little oyster house in Texas. Tonight's show is brought to you by The Parking Spot. The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. Also by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716. Lighting up Rice University and Houston for over 100 years. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Rice Sports Network.